Good afternoon, welcome to Grain TV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is Wednesday the 8th. We had ethanol production and stocks out today. Also, keep in mind on the horizon here, tomorrow we do have the WASDE report here for April. This is going to be important. Typically, WASDE reports provide a little bit of volatility into these markets. We're going to be focusing on ending stocks in the later part of the show, talking about expectations for that report. But before we get into that, let's turn over to the Grain Hedge trading platform and see where we closed off the day. You'll see corn here trading down 3 3/4 cents. Soybeans trading up 1 1/4, stopping the 3-day slide, and wheat in Chicago down 2 cents on the day. Now, we did have ethanol production numbers out here today, and you'll notice that this week we saw a decline in ethanol production, down 16,000 barrels per day to 936,000 barrels per day. Bottom line here is that this is a decline. Typically during this time of the year, we would expect to see an increase here in ethanol production. That isn't happening. Now, we're already well ahead of pace to meet USDA expectations. We've produced a significant amount of ethanol, more than what the USDA is forecasting here already this year. So that's one thing that we want to keep in mind, is that with this uncertain environment in the energy industry, does this mean that perhaps we're going to start to see a little bit of a decline when seasonally we would expect to see more of an increase? Now, keep in mind also stocks declined down 64,000 barrels to 20.48 million barrels this week. Let's talk a little bit about the WASDE ending stock expectations for tomorrow's report. Keep in mind here that this is a Reuters analyst poll. It's an average of multiple analysts. So the expectations here is just an average of a number of analysts that are polled in this report. But basically what analysts are expecting here is to see an increase in ending stocks for corn, up to 1.854 billion bushels from 1.777 billion bushels just last month. Now, a lot of this has to do with the quarterly grain stocks report that was released late last month that showed a little bit higher ending stocks here, or a little higher quarterly grain stocks, which would imply one of two things. Either we had higher production than expected last year, or feed use and residual there is a little bit less than expected. Bottom line here is that analysts are expecting a little bit higher ending stocks in this month's report. Soybeans here, ending stocks are expected around 370 million bushels. That's down from 385 million bushels in last month. So it's going to be very interesting to see if the USDA comes in line with these analysts' expectations. Wheat, not much of a change here from last month. Really only expecting ending stocks to change by 1 million bushels here. And going from 691 to 692. So not a huge change there expected for wheat, but the changes mostly expected to the corn balance sheet to affect ending stocks. Let's talk a little bit about South American production, as a lot of these growing areas are harvested here. So first of all, Argentina, analysts are expecting an increase in production out of Argentina, both in corn and in soybeans. They're expecting an increase of 0.4 million metric tons increase in corn. They're expecting a 1.23 million metric ton increase for soybeans. For Brazil, we're expecting to see a bit of a decline here, but not a very significant amount. This is something that we're going to want to be paying close attention to. We will be reporting on this and sending out a follow-up email to all Grain Hedge customers and those that are taking a demo. So go ahead and take a demo of the Grain Hedge trading platform if you haven't done so already. See what it's like to have live quotes in the palm of your hand, and also be able to view those live quotes on your desktop computer when this market report is released. Keep in mind also, tomorrow morning we're going to be getting export sales for the week. Expectations right now for corn are between 350 to 450,000 metric tons. Soybeans anywhere from cancellations of 50,000 metric tons to sales of 150,000 metric tons, and wheat here between 50 to 150,000 metric tons. These are old crop expectations. Now, the reason soybeans are expecting to have some slight declines, or possibly even reductions in export sales here is mostly due to the fact that Brazil is really going to be ramping up exports out of their country during April. That's going to have a big impact on U.S. export sales. We're going to see if for a second week in a row we get sales only in the teens in terms of 15, 16,000 metric tons like what we saw last week for soybeans. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, please give the office a call. The number's 877-472-4607. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here tomorrow to wrap up exactly what happened, what the USDA reported, and how the market reacted to this WASDE report.